Lesson 5, fun techniques. Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you some fun techniques that you can do with crochet to create a variety of different items. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to do increases and decreases. Okay, I have a little sample swatch here. I'm going to connect a new piece of yarn. To connect it, I insert my hook in one of the stitches. I grab the yarn and pull it through, and then I simply do a chain. So now I'm ready to go to show you some things. I'm going to show you how to increase in single crochet. Increases are very easy. You simply work 2 stitches into the same spot. Okay, so there's a single crochet. If I'd like to increase, I just work another stitch, and there you go. Let's do it again. Let's do another increase. So if you increase in single crochet or double crochet, obviously your work is going to get larger. If you're doing a round 3D item, it will start to expand out. You can also create ruffles on the edge of a blanket like this. Just work maybe even 3 single crochets in each stitch for one round, and then another 3, and your project will start to ruffle. Okay, if you'd like to do a decrease, it's a little bit different. Don't just skip a stitch, okay? You want to combine these 2 stitches. We're going to do a decrease over the next 2 stitches. I'm going to insert my hook, pull through, then insert my hook in the next stitch and pull through. Now I'm going to pull through all 3 loops on the hook. So I took 2 stitches and combined them and made 1 stitch. You can do this in any of the stitches. All you want to do is wait until the final pull through. So let's show you a double crochet to show what I mean. You wrap the yarn around the hook, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and instead of doing a final pull through right now, I'm going to go on to the next stitch. Wrap the yarn around the hook, insert the hook, pull up a loop, pull through. Now I have these 2. I'm going to combine, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. The final pull through will combine your stitches. So I combined 2 double crochets. It can be written as DC2 TOG, double crochet 2 together, or a double crochet decrease. I've seen it both ways. This is also kind of a way that you make a cluster stitch. So I don't have that in the written directions, but since I'm here, why not show you how to do a cluster? So what you can do is wrap your yarn around the hook, insert your hook. Okay. And now in the same stitch, I'm going to do it again. And I'm basically going to keep going, and I'm going to do 4 different double crochets. And if I want to combine them all together, I wait until the final pull through, and then I combine them together. So that is a cluster right there, a 4 double crochet cluster. So I showed increases and decreases and a little bit of a cluster. So what you can do with these things, I have a 2-dimensional little ladybug here I made. I worked it in rows, and I simply decreased at the end of the rows. I did some decreases over here. Now, also, while I'm here, let me show you another little thing too, which I don't have it in the written patterns either, but I want to show you, since I mentioned the double crochet 2 together. Let's see, wait for that to focus. You can double crochet as many stitches as you want together. Okay, so one way that you could do that, or this is how you do that, you could say double crochet 3 together. You'd simply wrap your yarn around the hook, insert your hook, pull up a loop and pull through 2 like you're about to finish the double crochet, but go on to the next and the next. I'm simply working my stitches but waiting until the final pull through. If I pull through here, I'm double crocheting all 3 of these together. Okay, there you have it. Now, some other fun techniques. I've got this owl here, which I'm going to show you in lesson 6 too. But in order to make these cool shapes, I've got to learn how to work my increases and decreases. This wing is simple rows with increases and decreases, or I can use some different stitches to create shapes. I've got the feet here, I've got the little beak here. So let's take some yarn and I'll show you what I mean. Because the stitches are all different lengths, they will create shapes if you combine them correctly. So I start with a simple slip knot, and let's chain, let's chain like 6, okay? Working stitches back along this chain, Let's start with a slip stitch. Insert your hook, pull the yarn through, and pull it all the way through. That's going to be a point. Now I'm going to do a single, a half, double crochet, and a double crochet. And I'm going to show you now how I made a little triangle, okay? So you can use that little triangle as, I don't know, an ear if you're making a stuffed animal, or a beak like on the owl, or whatever you like. Now you can also start working in the round and do the same basic technique. You can make a star, you can make a flower, you can just experiment. So I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to work 7 single crochets in the first chain. 1, 2, 3. That's going to give me my base. 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slip stitch to join. So I worked a slip stitch to the first single crochet in the round to join. Now I'm going to use the same technique. I'm going to make a length of chain. And if I'd like to make a basic simple flower, the stitches that I work back along this chain will vary the shape of my petals. So if I want really pointy petals, you could start with a slip stitch, single, half, and then slip stitch to the next stitch on your circle. In that way, I made kind of a sharp petal. I could do this 5 times and make a star. Or if you want something a little more rounded, you could make a length of chain, and then let's half double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. That gives it a rounded edge. And how about a double? You can just play around with this, and another double. So it's kind of fun. You just play around making different shapes. You can also start out with a larger ring if you'd like a larger item. So there you go. That's kind of how you make a basic flower with different petals. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to make a cord. When I made my flower, I did a slip stitch to join. But if I want to make a thick cord, a long tube, this can be used as like an arm for an animal. It could be used as a handle for a purse, or lots of different things. So what you could do is, instead of slip stitching, simply continue to work single crochet around and around. What this is going to do is make your stitches start to curve upwards here, okay? And this hollow tube is going to form. Depending on how many single crochets you start with, that's going to vary the thickness of your cord. So if you want to make a thin cord that's almost closed, you could start with like 4, I'd say would be a good number. If you want to make a round, thick cord, you could start with 6 or 7 and just continue to work your single crochet around. One thing that people need to be careful of is that they're not adding or dropping any stitches. It's hard to see where the stitches are defined here, but you want 1 in each. And then you see it just starts to form upward. Okay, so that's how you make a basic cord. One other thing I'm going to show you is a little technique that you can use to make what's called a picot. Okay, a picot is kind of like a fancy little doodad on the edge of your item. It's also used in doily patterns. So you go ahead and connect your yarn with the chain. Okay, and I'm going to start off doing some basic single crochets. Now, to form a picot, it's spelled P-I-C-O. You do a chain of 3. You can also do 4, but standard is 3. Then you insert your hook into the first chain right here, okay? You can grab both loops if you like, or just one of the loops. And then work a slip stitch, okay? And there the picot is formed. You can continue on. You could skip a stitch or just continue working right along. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll do it again for you. So there you've got like a little knobbin thing, a little decorative edge Okay. So again, you would chain 3 and you would slip stitch to this first chain. I've also seen patterns that would slip stitch to the single crochet. Okay, so you could also slip stitch to that. And then keep working on. So there you have it. That's just an example of some fun techniques, some fun things that you could do with crochet. Happy hooking to you, and thanks for watching.